Welcome, survivors, burnout community, and those just interested. It's Kelly Bupoltz, trainer, author, speaker, and your burnout prevention mentor. Burnout is not taboo. It's our reality in this chaotic, fast-paced world. But we're not going to let it drive the narrative to our stories. We're going to do something about it. So let's dig in. It only takes 5 minutes. That was a huge procrastination hack that I was able to use to do some of the things that we need to re-energize our days. Because let's be real, if you are not intentional about your energy throughout the day, anyone steals it. Your schedule takes over, and then at the end of the day, you're just exhausted. You don't feel a sense of progress, and you do it over and over and over again. And that's what it looked like for me too, as I had those blah days. I had those zombie days. And then days turned into weeks turned into years, and eventually I hit rock bottom of burnout. So let's talk about it only takes 5 minute type of tasks or activities that you can do to re-energize your days and start to take back control of your schedule and start to be intentional about where you're spending your energy. So the first one is setting priorities. It only takes 5 minutes. I'm going to link in the description a great priority tool that only takes 5 minutes called the Eisenhower Matrix, in which you will do now, you will delegate, you will schedule out, or you just won't do it. And it's a great task to take everything on your to-do list, all those things that are popping up right away in the morning, and plot them into what am I going to do today, what's going to wait, what's going to delegate, and what's going to delete. The other 5-minute tool that you can use is data metrics that move. So a lot of times I was in meetings on the strategic team in which we were tracking metrics that didn't mean anything. If the metric went down, nothing happened. If the metric went up, nothing happened. If the metric didn't change, nothing happened. And so when you're looking at your metrics, which ones move the needle? Which ones are telling the story of your business, of your operation, of your department? Which one can you tell if it goes down, in a couple of weeks, we're going to have some issues. If it goes up, in a couple of weeks, we're going to have issues, or vice versa. Those are the metrics that you want to track. So sometimes we waste a lot of energy and minutes and time and focus on metrics that don't matter. They're not telling you anything. If they go up or down, there's really no forward variables that it's going to affect. So checking your movement metrics only takes 5 minutes and really gives you a big picture of what you will need to work on today, some check-ins, some pivots that you need to do, versus looking at all these different dashboards, all this different data, again, exerting that mental load when really only a few metrics need to be looked at, because those are the ones that are going to move the needle. So by focusing on movement metrics only for 5 minutes is going to really tailgate your week. So those focus metrics are going to help. The third thing that you can do that only takes 5 minutes is connect with your circle. So who are your people? And if you don't have people, that's going to be a whole other mission to go on. But who are your people, and can you send them a nice text today? Can you give them a call on the way to work? Can you catch up with them via FaceTime at lunch? How are you going to connect with someone? And again, it only takes 5 minutes. And this really came out of some of the mental health research that's going in. When they talk about the lonely epidemic, is that some people can go on days or weeks without being in real contact with other humans, like real contact. So not showing up for work and chit-chatting with coworkers, like that real contact of check-ins, good mornings. Hey, how's your week going? I heard this song. Do you remember this song jamming out in the car when we were 16? Those type of connection moments that just bring like energy and love back to you. So who can you connect with in your inner circle? And again, 5 minutes, if you're just sending text, that's minimal. That's probably a minute. The fourth thing you can do is declutter your desk. So check out the video in which you can really identify if your desk is really driving your drainers, or is it driving production for the day? And that's getting rid of some of the noise, some of the distractions, and really focused on your priorities today. That's how your desk is set up. So can you also declutter your inbox, declutter that desk space, declutter a counter, and create more mental space for creativity, for innovation, for actual deep work? So decluttering your inbox, your desk, your counter, for mental space only takes 5 minutes. if you're doing it regularly. So if your desk is a mess, if your inbox is a mess, it might take a little time in the upfront, but then if you keep up with it, it's only 5 minutes. So how can you create mental space through some of those activities? Now, the fifth one is a movement break. So movement doesn't mean that you have to go to the gym. It only takes 5 minutes. So can you stretch? Can you just do some of this and some of this? Can you touch your toes? That was a big goal for mine. Is someone said adults can't touch their toes anymore. And I said, there's no way. And then I reached down and I couldn't touch my toes. I'm 5'2". I should be able to touch my toes. So that is what I do during my movement break is I'll reach down to the ground and try to touch my toes. I'll walk around and I'll talk to people on the plant floor. I will go for a walk outside if it's nice out. I might just go get water. So movement break, 5 minutes. Again, get that blood flowing, get that circulation going, get that brain a little screen break, and then come back. 5 minute energy break. And then the last one is checking a narrative or story that's been running in your head. So say I left in the morning and my partner and me just had like a disconnect moment. And I'm worried about that. And it's on my head. And I'm just stewing in all the different story that my brain wants to tell right now. Can I put that in check? Maybe he was also rushed out the door. Maybe he's really stressed. How can I put that into a reality of the facts? But that could go with anything. It could go with any interaction you had with someone during the day. Say I got an email and I'm interpreting their text in the email as they're mad. They're mad that something didn't go their way. They're mad that something isn't the way that they wanted it to be. And I'm thinking about these things and overthinking these things. Maybe I just need to read that email again. Maybe I just need to see if I can have a quick Teams video chat with that person. Just be like, hey, I saw your email. I just want to make sure like I wasn't misunderstanding something or like misinterpreting what you were saying. Tell me a little bit background of what's going on. That conversation's probably 5 minutes or less and checks my whole reality. And guess what? The rest of the day, I'm not draining energy away in this story in my head, this monster that I'm creating. So that's the last one. So how can you just take 5 minutes to set priorities, to check on some good movement data metrics? So we're not looking at all the data. We're just checking a pulse. How can you check in with people and connect? Really connect. How can you declutter your desk space, your counter space, your inbox for more mental space? Movement break. And how can you check a narrative that's been stirring in your mind back to reality and facts? Through these 6 steps that only take 5 minutes, you can re-energize your days.
I know you're not lazy. Most people in burnout are high performers, those serving others before themselves. Don't discount this step today, the action in which you focus on your self-growth. Piecing together the puzzle is half the journey. Rediscovering yourself, energy, and establishing new habits is the other. Do not underestimate the untapped inner strength inside you. Explore more resources on my website to move from zombie mode back to liveliness. See you soon.